What's going on, family? Welcome back to the Royal Minds podcast. Once again, it's your host, Darrell Willis, Mr. Royal Minds. And today, I have an amazing guest with me, one of my mentors and a good friend, Mr. Ricardo Antoine Brown, Mr. Power in You.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Man, I'm chilling, man. How you feeling?
I am blessed and honored to be on this, to watch the wings sprout.
Man,
He flying like an eagle.
Man, we came a long way, man.
Who you tell? And there's only more to grow.
Man, who you telling?
It's amazing seeing what you do, man. I am privileged.
Man, I appreciate it. I thank you for just all you done poured into me, man.
All right, man. Go and get those checks so I can get my return.
Man, so we're going to jump right on into it, man.
Okay.
So first and foremost, I'm going to do what I pretty much do with mostly every guest I done had. Go ahead and kind of tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Well, like Darrell said, my name is Ricardo Antoine Brown. I usually go by Antoine to friends and people who I know and family and love. I'm also a coach, and I'm a life coach by trade. I'm also a substance abuse counselor. I'm certified. I did that for about 4.5 years at a beautiful facility that I worked at that gave me some insight and some training on helping some people who are very distraught and, in their addiction and trying to recover, and basically was being their life coach and counselor, helping them make that transition into society, some straight from prison, some from the streets, some volunteer, various backgrounds as far as coming into this. So that really gave me a lot of my, I guess, groundwork and experience with working with people who don't believe in themselves.
Yeah.
It's like, if you can help them turn around, and get some, groundwork of understanding and loving themselves, then this might be the thing for you. So coaching was like, it came hand in hand.
Yeah.
I'm a father of 5. I have 4 boys, 1 girl. I have one currently living in Korea, pursuing his dream. He taught himself, which was amazing. I'm like, yeah, that had to come from my side of the family. So he's over there doing that, pursuing his music career, and he's doing some modeling, and he's already been a part of some YouTube specials. And then my daughter, she models and, getting her influence on the media, and she's a graduate of college, and I think she's going back to pursue some more curriculum, or, expand her education. Then I got my 2 youngest boys. One's a bowler and the other one plays basketball and baseball. And then, of course, my beautiful wife. We've been married for 21 years of our anniversary that's coming up. And that's been a beautiful thing. She's been there, trial, error, thick and thin, up, down, whatever the weather, is. And sometimes I made that weather.
Yeah.
But she's been there, been that solid rock. I can't see my life without her.
Okay.
But that's a little bit about me and my profession and what I do. I'm a coach. I mentor. I show people how to naturally bring those skills and talents together and basically monetize and live the life that they choose off the abilities that I believe God has already placed in them. Some people got a natural ability. And I literally call myself, I'm like, maybe I'm the Professor Xavier. I just show you how to use it. Give you a little pointer, do this, do that. Next thing you know, you can expound on your gifts and your talents and move the world and at your power, which is the company, the power in you. I want to show people how to actually tap into it, live authentic, and be so aware of themselves that it just brings them options. They remove themselves from negativity, not by just physically moving, but being able to move that from here. No matter the opposition or the place that they're in, they can remove it from here. Once you can do that, oh man, the sky's the limit. What can hold you? Most things that hold men, women in life from their actual potential is what's going on up here. Man. It has nothing to do with the physicality. There's been people locked up in prison and have had marvelous lives in their minds based on what they were reading. And then when they got free, they was like, I'm going to change my life.
Mm-hmm.
Ask Nelson Mandela.
Man. So one of the questions that I have for you, because you over here, you being modest, you being humble. And like I done told everybody, when you come on the Royal Minds podcast, this is not the place for that.
Okay.
You come here to talk your talk.
Right.
But the thing that you really helped me with is understanding relationships and how to develop my relationships properly.
Yeah.
So with that, I kind of want you to dive into that, because I know a lot of people out here, to a degree,
suffering from a relationship.
Yeah, they suffering from the relationships and having a hard time, like not only developing that relationship with themselves, but then also showing that self-love to other people.
Correct. It is basically, in my opinion, that's worse than the COVID pandemic, because that love and understanding of self can lead you into so many symptoms of suffering because you don't have that idea. So what I like to do first with the people, and some of that has to do with my substance abuse training, is finding out the origin.
Gotcha.
So we do some recon. What's happening? How did this happen? How did you get here? Because, I tell, even when I was counseling, I said, I know you didn't wake up one day as a little boy and was like, you know what, mommy, I want to be a drug addict. No, that was not on your mind. It's circumstances, situations, and mishaps and unfortunate, the way you interpreted those things is what led you this way to do the abusive thing to yourself. Some things you did were done to you that you had no control. And some things was just the happenstance of the environment, being raised without a father or a mother, or seeing them on drugs or things like that. And sometimes it's not that degree. Sometimes it's just the subtleties of neglect that you don't realize that you desperately needed as a young man growing up. But he's not there to nurture it because he has the work, or, whatever experiences that he feels is a need as well. But you're going to be okay because no one taught us how important it is to be there and actually nurture and mold that young man into a man, or that woman into a young woman. Yeah, she's always there with mom, because that's our society has perpetuated that, mom take care of the children.
Yeah.
Okay, the first nurturer was a man. That's just my belief. And then out of him came a nurturer.
Got you.
You follow me? So she came out of him. That doesn't make him void of it. You know what I'm saying?
It's just sometimes we neglect that.
We just neglect it, but it is there, and we're not taught that that's okay. So now your circumstance, that child grows up. I hope I'm not going too deep, but that child grows up without these understandings and not with that person, that father figure who gives them the identity to understand relationships first is between him and dad, or between dad and the daughter.
Okay.
To understand the opposite. And then the mother gives that daughter how to coincide and operate with one of the same sex and have a healthy relationship. So now when it's missing in our society with the young man and the father, how to have a healthy relationship between man, two men, one young, one old, father and son, and then as well into adulthood, how to just have relationships and, see that transition from I'm your father, you need to do this, to good job, son. Maybe you leading me now. You know what I'm saying? We don't get to see that transition and its healthiness as we deserve.
Yeah.
So now you grow up with those important pieces being missed or neglected because I got to work. Or I got my own schisms and I got my own issues, and I can't talk to you, son. And because I don't have these relationships in balance that the children observe between dad and father, between mom and daughter, and between mother and father, something's missing. And what's missing turns into abandonment issues that I, as father, didn't know I was imposing this on you because I'm not involved or engaged.
So the thing I want to say is, so you telling me that a lot of our troubles that we have in our life comes from the disconnect or the miscommunication of how we relate to one another.
Absolutely. Because it's almost foreign. And like I said, I believe that's worse than the actual pandemic that we have. Looking at families and the dynamic, especially in our community.
Yeah.
Is my children at one point in time was teased because their dad was in their life. Think about that.
Yeah, that's why I'm looking, because I'm like, me growing up without a father, I wouldn't have cared if you teased me or not. As long as Pops was here, I'm good.
Yeah. But but that was the impression how it was put on them. Oh, what you gonna do? Tell your dad? Making them feel belittled because their father is there in their lives and they can run to him and say, help.
So to a
Make
degree,
you feel bad because you can get help from your father.
So to a degree, it's almost like you damned if you do, damned if you don't.
It can, if you haven't had the tutelage. So I'm teaching them and telling them something different, son, that's coming from a child who doesn't have that. So really, he's speaking out of jealousy and a want.
So go a little bit deeper with that. How do that conversation normally looks like when your child comes to you and they're having these difficult conversations with other children that might not have their parents?
It's basically just that. The way I explained it is breaking it down to where the need is and why this child is suffering. And I'm showing my children how to look past the offense as far as what's said and look at the hurt. Because this came from a hurtful place.
Gotcha.
Because he wishes he had that. They see me come up there. They see me engage. They see me interact with you. And hey, little man, and how you doing? And come on, sons, and let's go. And we finna go get some donuts and some tacos or whatever. And we gonna ride together. And I'm talking to you about your day. They see the strut in your walk. They see your head held up high. They see the glimmer in your eye when I come through the door. That's my dad. Yeah. And they get up to go chase after dad and they watch you walk away with your father, wishing that was there. And then they say something to that degree. Oh, what you gonna do? Oh, you a daddy's boy. Yeah. Yes, I am. I tell them to walk in that confidence, but not to belittle them because of their situation. And I'm telling them this is really coming out of a painful place.
So the other thing I want you to hit on is, how do you teach your sons specifically like compassion for other people that might have that hurt, and how they can also help somebody from their own experiences or the education that you pass down to them?
I'm glad you asked that question. It's the compassion that I shows them. The compassion that I show them, the care that I show them, even how I show them to transcend it or to deliver it to somebody else. But so don't belittle them in that same position when they try to spew that hate on you or that hurt. Don't take offense to it. Give them the opposite, or maybe say nothing at all. Maybe walk away from that situation and just see it for what it is. Maybe introduce them to me. Hey, Dad, this is my friend. That oftentimes has changed that child. Or watching me say, hey, little man, to someone who picked on my son, me embracing him. That's showing compassion. That's me showing you don't have to hate your enemy, and you don't have to give your enemy the same thing that they're giving to you. One of my mentors from a distance is the philosophies of Bruce Lee. Be water. That's how you fight fire. It's not with fire, it's with water. So be water, my friend. So I'm teaching my children, you be the solution. You give them the thirst quencher. Because that's really what ultimately everybody wants, is some love and understanding. It may come off abrasive, it may come off mean, but I'm teaching them to love themselves first, and then to watch it. Watch me give love, give compassion, but first to myself. That's why I have so much to give, because I have an overabundance for myself. So there's enough that's going to flow out, and they see it. Son, if I didn't love you, that would mean I hate me. I love me, so I must love you.
So even with that, that's one of the concepts that I teach or that I coach people through, is how to be selfish to be selfless.
Good.
So with that, I wanted to ask, at what point in time did you have to become selfish in order to be selfless for your sons or your children in general?
I think that actually happened in the preparation of my youth. With the reading, with the studying, with trying to get an understanding, trying to learn me, trying to be at peace with me. I grew up without my father, and I grew up in my mother. It was very challenging.
Gotcha.
She gave me a lot of tough love, but sometimes I needed a hug. But I need you to be strong. So that whole mom has to be dad and mom at the same time. That's confusion.
I was just going to ask, is that a big confliction for some people?
Yes, it is. And no one can do it accurately because a woman does not understand the true fabrics of a man and how he thinks and his struggles. Is from an outside point of view, not an internal point of view.
So
that's why you have to have that balance.
With that right there, from the internal point of view. So like, I'm understanding.
Actually, it's external. It's not an internal. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying from the internal point of view, whereas I, as a man, have to teach my son how to be a man. From that, like, you growing up without a father, how did you develop that concept?
It was some of the things that I read. I did have some father figures. My grandfather was a great friend of mine. I had some uncles. I saw some negatives and some positives. I saw some good things in my grandfather. He was that go-to, oh, he gonna save me, from my mom who's trying to discipline me. And then some of her concepts, what she learned from growing up with her father, because she grew up with her father. And so seeing, this is what a man does. He works, he nurtures, he takes care of this, he does those type of things. He fixes it himself, or he learns how to. I learned a lot of those things. I learned how to paint. Then my mother, I think around age 5, she got married and my stepfather became significant in this is what you do. And I saw him take care of. I saw him fix. I saw him build. He put up, a foundation, and he, refinished the basement. How did you learn this? It was Job Corps. But not knowing to ask more in-depth questions, but what I observed and saw, you go to work, you do this. But those intimate conversations to draw out the man, those escaped us. Those didn't happen. As I got older, realizing to have conversations with him now on a different plane. Oh, you left home at 13. No one drew that out of him. His environment was abusive with substance abuse. So it's like he did the best he could do with what he had. He just showed and he done. But having these conversations to find out or tap into what's in me to pull it out, that didn't happen. So as I grew, it was like, that's what I'm going to give my children. I'm also going to show them, come in here, get this wrench. Come in here, help me plunge this toilet stool. Help me, we're going to cut this grass and edge it up right. We're going to do these things that I'm showing you, as well as, hey, what do you want to do with your life?
So some of what you teach your children, your sons, right, is you got that from, to a degree, somewhat not having a foundation.
Exactly.
So to a degree, you learned how to lay a foundation without even having one. To a degree.
But that was a foundation. To not even have is a foundation. Because you got to still, even if I'm starting from the dirt.
See, some people don't look at it like that. Exactly. Some people be like, all I got is dirt. What I'm going to do with it?
Plant some seeds. Grow something or build something on it. Yeah. You have an opportunity. You're going to look at it as a blank canvas or a canvas of your dreams. An opportunity. That's to the beholder. So if your mind is closed, and thank God, I think that's part of just the DNA in me, or how I'm wired a little bit different to see things to that nature. I never let go fully of my imagination. So, which are things that can actually lead you to other benefits and other opportunities, your imagination. Walt Disney, the man, imagined Disneyland. He sat on a bench and saw it, where people like, what are you looking at? I'm looking at Walt Disneyland, which was not there. So he was calling that thing that did not exist into existence. And then it became a manifestation. That's here. Back to what we're talking about, the mindset. So at a young, early age for myself, there was that imagination. How would I want my life to be? I'm not saying I did it correct and I did it perfectly. There was trial and errors. This thing I didn't understand. I didn't see some of the abandonment issues within myself and how it came out, even with the youth of raising my children. And I'm young and trying to pursue things. I made mistakes, and I have some slight regrets or things I need to apologize for, and I've done so. But yet and still, if you remain there, that's the tragedy. But if you grow from there, that's the victory.
So I got a question for you on that.
Mm-hmm.
To a degree, with you understanding your process, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you go back and apologize to your children for certain things where you like, I should have did this a little bit better? And I know that sits with them.
Well, those are the hard conversations that once you've become, secure and understanding that you made these mistakes, and they may point them out. I even had to teach this in counseling, fathers and mothers who have not been in their children's lives, or children were taken from them, is get yourself to the point that you can have this conversation, as hurtful as it may be, to hear this, but it is the actual truth. And it only hurts because you did do this, and nobody wants to be reminded of all their atrocities and their wrongs. But when you can deal with them, or not live in them, but understand I did do this, and take ownership and take responsibility. Yes, I did. You're being accused of such and such and such. Would you tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes, I will. And once you can do that, depending on your children, when you can have these conversations, yes. I've had them with my daughter. Well, you did this and you did that. Yes, I did. You're absolutely right. I did do that. Well, you're meaner when you say this and how you. Yes, I am. I'm to provoke. Your mom's the kind one. I'm just nice. It's a little bit different. We have different roles. I didn't have the luxury to be so kind and nice and sweet. I couldn't be your Disney dad and your authoritative dad to move things in a direction to keep you safe. I have the time, because I had to work and all these things too, and then deal with myself. I didn't have the time and the luxury to say, hey, and be a little bit more patient and say, no, don't touch the stove. I had to say, stop, don't touch the stove. You follow what I'm saying? And it's totally different how you teach the children now. Yeah, I got better. You're right, your younger brothers, the change, there's a change there. I've gotten a little bit more patient. My financial position has changed. I've empowered myself even more. I've been around other people that I've learned and I've grew and I've read. And yeah, I made a lot of mistakes in the beginning, and they're getting the benefits of it. But you're still here reaping those benefits as well. I'm not taking anything from you. I can't fix that, but I can tell you from now on, it's definitely better.
I got you. So pretty much, let me see, I said, we created a foundation.
Yeah.
The foundation do have some cracks in it, but now I really know how to lay the pavement.
I can go back and fix it. I can fix it. Give me the right fixer up. Or if the construction and the money is right, you can tear that foundation down, prop that house up on top of it, and fix that foundation.
So with you, go ahead.
If you're willing to put in that type of work in order to make it right, you can. There's no such thing as a mistake you have to live with. You got to live with a mistake. You can fix it. As long as you still you got that in your body, you can fix it. Now, I can't make you let me fix it, but my door is open, and our tools and opportunity and what I have, I'm at that disposal to fix it if you want to. Some people got to run their course of their growth and then come back and say, I was being a little hasty and not letting you fix it. I should have grown. I should have learned better. I should have accepted that you didn't try to hurt me. It was a happenstance. It wasn't on purpose.
Yeah.
It was just this. And now I see it. And wow, thank you for still being there, still giving the opportunity. A mindset shift and a change, just because it's your seed or your child, doesn't mean it's going to happen. Because however it happened for you, it was a process. So give yourself a break. Give your parents a break. Because they did something that some have, child, oh yeah, pass it. Child, oh yeah, pass it.
They done alley-ooped it to somebody else. Man.
And they wasn't as good as LeBron, maybe. And then they fumbled it. I don't know. But, those happenstance and circumstances that come on to people is changing your own mindset. You can be a victim to your own situation, or you can be a victor to your situation and see this is just what I've come across or what I had to overcome in order to be this person, to literally be able to sit in this seat.
Mm-hmm.
It's not because I'm so great. Mm-hmm. It's because I overcame some things and kept my eyes and my senses and who I am open to the possibility of doing something great. Mm-hmm. I don't know yet if I'm doing it, but I know I'm going to keep on trying till I hit it. I don't know what it's going to really look like, but I'm going to keep striving.
Got you.
To cultivate it and let it grow. Now, I can say one thing. To sit in front of you and even your fans and everybody who's tuning in, that is the degree of greatness. Mm. To be able to plant a seed and there's something, boom, look what he's doing. From my frivolous, finite information that I gave, he was able to take it and say, boom, like, wow, that's perfect. That's beautiful. And look how far and how vast it can be. That's greatness. Greatness is a measurement of a man's immorality or how he sees life. It's up to him.
I got you.
Nobody has the real secret to success. You define that. I don't care if this I get up every day and I'm on time to my McDonald's job and I love it. And I've been there 10 years. Success. Success. That person, because there's some people who millionaires and they still don't think they arrived.
All right, because listen to me.
Struggling.
Listen, I didn't accomplish a lot in the last couple years.
I know.
And I feel like I'm like, man, I ain't did nothing.
Well, I would not put that label to say you haven't done nothing. It's like, look at what you have done.
And embrace it.
And embrace it. Gotcha. Embrace it and let go at the same time. Bruce Lee said that as well. You must embrace it and let go at the same time. I was confused. What in the world does that mean? Embrace. What am I embracing? Embrace those ups and those downs. But the things that have not added value to you, let that go.
So I got a question for you. With some of the parents, right, being young, and sometimes it's a lot of young fathers and things like that. Explain for me how they balance the growth. How do they balance the growth of being a father but still becoming the individual that they know they can be? How do you balance that?
I don't think you can separate the individual and the growth in being a father. I think that grows together. You see trees go through their seasons of change while the saplings are below them going through their growth process. That's the same thing I look at fatherhood. That tree has probably got to a certain point of its growth. And now it just sheds and, reseeds itself and fruit and whatever comes off. And that falls and then another one grows right below it. That's its child.
Got you.
And it's going to nurture off of that tree in its process of it going through its cycle. So it's going to learn and it's going to see it. I think that's the same thing with fatherhood. We should be right there nurturing and growing at the same time. If I get better, they should get better. And then when I do pass that mantle, as far as running my race, they take it and they run further. And they give it to their children and their children run further. It says that a blessed man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. So I used to tell my children, and well, I've changed it now, but I said, if I can't leave you riches, I'm going to leave you knowledge that helps you gain riches. So you take your choice. Either way, you ain't losing, because I'm going to either show you how to get there as I'm working towards it, or I leave you riches. But I would rather leave you the knowledge to help you attain the riches, the fortitude, the get up and go, the move, when a brick wall appears, get a sledgehammer. And if that don't work, you get a wrecking ball. or you get some assistance to help you knock down this wall. Find a way, because there's always a way. There's never an end road. If there's an end road, build a bridge. Don't settle for it's over and that's it. No, the only creatures on this planet that is better than us is no one. We're the only ones that can reason. There's no other creatures on this planet better than us. Look what the accomplishments we've done. And it's like, that was a man or that was a woman. And you quitting? There's no quit in you. You wouldn't have made it to that egg if there was such thing as quit in you. And it was 5 million cells that was trying to get to that egg. And you won. And now you're going to quit because, I don't know, you're facing a foreclosure or you lost a job and you think it's over. Please. It's instinctively put in you to win. So why would you not tap into that? I'm teaching them to open their minds up and to, I guess, escape to possibilities.
And with doing that, is that why you, to a degree, like you said, even with yourself, and I can see just from everything you've been saying, you kind of leave that door open for your children to have that imagination to be able to see everything that they can change or become integrated with. Well, not integrated, but innovation.
Absolutely. What's frightening as a parent is to tell your children, go after everything and take no for an answer. And then they come back to you and say, Daddy, can I have a cookie? No. Now they're looking at you kind of strange.
But why would that be frightening?
Because at some point in time, they're going to get that cookie, regardless of what you say. And that's frightening because it's like, I can't protect you once you do that. But it's not up to you to protect them. I have a son who's in Korea who left at age 19. What in the world you think you're doing? You shouldn't go right now. It's during the pandemic. I can't save you. Greyhound don't float on water. I can't get to you fast enough to help you if you go over there. But he took off anyway without all of his father's checks and balances of wishes. That everything be all right. So when he walks out there, it's like, okay, let me make sure I child-proof the cabinets and, the glass. I ain't even got glass. I got wood and it's round, nothing with edges. I want to make sure that your walk is perfect and that is okay. If you do stumble and fall, I'm right here as I can watch you.
So you can't child-proof life.
I wish I could. I'd be the richest man in the world.
Man.
But you can't. But how you child-proof it is by what you equip in him.
So it's what you instill in him.
What you instill, how you equip them, what you say. So when he finally took off, it's like, dang, I am the reason he's doing this. Not just the reason he's doing this.
You gotta let that breathe for a second.
Yeah. It's like, I gotta abide by his rules, and he telling me I can't do this, but then he told me I can do this. I'm finna do this. I'm not just the reason he's doing this. I'm the reason he's doing this.
So basically, either they're gonna run to it or run away from it, but they still gonna run in the same direction.
Run somewhere. And so when he did it, it is my most proudest moment. Wow, boy, I didn't do that when I was 19. I didn't leave. I mean, yet alone thinking about going to college and go to another city in Columbus where I was recruited to. And I think that's too far. I'm afraid. You went to another country and taught yourself Korean. Not just, he can say more than just, I need a hamburger where the bathroom is. He can hold a conversation, dialogue. I watched him write this on the wall. Determination. What else did he watch write on wall? He watched me do vision boards. He watched me put things together. He watched me write my plans. He heard me say, write the plan, make it plain, and tarry long, but you won't tarry long. He was gone in less than 5 years. It was like 2-3 years. He's 19, 20, boom. The pandemic happened and things fell in his way. Opportunity saved his money. He was out on a plane trip. I'm like, what are you doing? You're moving too fast. It ain't the right time. It ain't this and ain't that. This is everything I taught them to be. What parents get upset with some is that when you tell them, don't you let nobody keep you from your dreams. Don't you let nobody tell you you can't do what it is you want to do. Mom and dad, you're nobody.
So expound on that for me. Because I know a lot of people would be like, what you mean they nobody? But expound on
I
that.
don't mean you're not a somebody and that you're not a great person, but you said, son, don't let nobody deter you from your dreams. And even though I'm trying to protect my son and say, son, maybe it's the wrong time, you shouldn't go right now, I just fell in that category of nobody, trying to keep him from his dreams. I'm that nobody. What I should have said was, son, you don't listen to those fools, but you listen to your daddy. That's who you listen to, because I'm always keep you safe. We didn't put that disclaimer in there. We said, don't you let nobody. And then so when a child says, I want to do such and such, you say, boy, you can't do that. You just fell into the category of nobody. And eventually they're going to find the strength, because you keep saying one thing, be great. Do what you feel you're drawn to and live in that lifestyle, and don't take no for an answer. You can be anything that you want. This is America. Mm-hmm. We have examples of greatness from America to around the world. We was once taught, yeah, you can be anything you want, but you ain't being president. Lie. I can be. If one is, there's going to be a second and a third and a fourth, and possibly even more of, men of color sitting in that seat. So to hear you can't expound or grow or make a dream come true, mm-hmm. That's bonkers. Look around you. Man was not supposed to fly. And my son got on a plane to Korea. You hear what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
That was said to be impossible. And I said, I don't know. It's not the right time. You shouldn't go. He's doing okay. He's needed some help financially, but it's like, I got to applaud it. Because even your old man didn't do that. But I'm right behind you. That's what I said. Sometimes they become the leaders to us. But what are you instilling in them so that they can become a leader?
So to a degree, as a parent, you have to be, to a degree, a master and a student at the same time.
If you cannot accept that, that's going to be a problem. Mm-hmm. That'd be like me. I put all of this in you and you can be great. And then you reach the highest level, the plateau. And then I hate you for it. Mm. What sense would that make? That's what some people do to their children.
Yeah. And
help them get to put all of this in them if you're doing it correctly. And then when they do it, you're upset that they're doing it.
Yeah, it's crazy because like you said, you'll hear your parents tell you, like, go out, do everything, accomplish every dream, accomplish everything that you want. But then once you actually start to do it, I believe it's the fear of them not being able to child-proof everything or be able to protect you from everything. That's what I think.
Some of it is that, a lot of that, but there's also that person's, that parent's own insecurities, their own lack of someone encouraging them. And so once I've done it and I can see success, it's usually easier to transcend that success because I know what it looks like.
Yeah.
And if I accept my degree of success, if it's McDonald's, and using that as example, hope we get that sponsorship for that. But anyway, when we're looking at that and that person says, well, I am successful, who is the person that can say it's not?
It's only you.
Only you. That outside voice don't matter. Mm-hmm. So that person's internal fears and internal insecurities is coming out and saying, you can't do it. That's usually that own person's voice telling them they can't do it. So they think saving you is putting that on you. You can't do it or it won't work.
Okay.
I remember hearing, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I remember hearing Jay-Z said his uncle told him, you'll never sell a million records. Like, dude, I do that in my sleep now.
Man.
You hear what I'm saying? That's what was told to him. Oh, you got a record deal? Well, you're never going to sell 1 million records. He sold 5 million. Mm. And ever since he been rapping like common sense. I think that's one of his lines. It's like, you hear what I'm saying? That's somebody else's thinking trying to impose that on you. It's a suggestion. And the only way that suggestion can have solidification or the growth in you to come true as a manifestation if you believe you can't sell 1 million records. Mm. If you believe you can't, that suggestion is just, it's not a suggestion. It is validation. It is proof.
Mhm.
I needed to hear that because I didn't believe it myself. So now I know for sure I can't sell 1 million records. Or your ego or your extreme love for yourself is so high, you like, no, that's small. Actually, I'm gonna do more than that. And I'm not accepting your suggestion into my subconscious. My subconscious is greater than that. I'm seeking how to accomplish that goal, 1 million records, or take that flight and that trip. What must I do? What sacrifices must I do? Instead of watching cartoons, instead of being on a video game, he's writing down dialogue. Writing down, trying to learn the calligraphy and write it and see what it looks like. He was reading the books. That's the sacrifice from this other enjoyment stuff and actually to accomplish this great thing.
Mm-hmm.
I studied, I read books from a young age, from psychology to understanding stuff to utilize the mind, because how can it be a trap to some and be a playground for others?
Mm-hmm.
So that's my sacrifice. If I was on a punishment, I was reading and studying. Some people are like, man, how do you know so much? I was punished a lot.
Yeah, I was locked in a room with books.
I was locked in a room with books. So I read. That's why I know this. That's why I have a little bit of this and a little bit of that, or a whole lot of this and a whole lot of that. And then so that thirst is still happening. It's kind of like what happened with Maya Angelou. A lot of people don't know her tragedy of being raped. And when she spoke about it to her counselor, and they asked her, or it was a friend of the family, I believe, before she got to her counseling, and they said, how did you feel about that person that, molested you? And she said, I wish they would die. A week or 2 weeks later, that man died in prison. She got wind of it and heard about it, and she stopped talking for 5 years. But in that process, all she did was read books. She stayed constantly in the library. She had therapy, and she would not talk to the therapist. She just would read her books. And one day, I can't remember exactly what was said, but the therapist said something, and she finally expounded and opened her mouth, and the therapist was awed. Like, oh my God, Maya Angelou was born, writing poetry and things like that. So from that tragedy and her studying this horrific thing, look at the butterfly that came from it. So I don't necessarily say, even to my children, yeah, I might have messed up, I might have did this, but some of these tragedies is going to help you become better, because that's what it did for me. And I'm still growing, still learning. So you can look at it as half empty or half full. It's up to you. I can't take that perception from you, but that's not where I live. So when you just make that decision, what do you want to do with your life? It's going to be purely up to you. And only you can say whether you're a success or a failure. It's not a mark. It's not a number. It's people have written one book and people have written 1,000. And the one who wrote one was like, I'm a success. And yes, he is. Somebody, well, he didn't write 10. All right, devil, get away from me. I wrote what I was supposed to write. And I feel that's an accomplishment. Maybe he's the first person to do it in his family. I don't know. Or just for his own legacy. That's success.
Man. So listen to me. We didn't got to the part in the show that I hate to do.
What's that?
It's almost about that time, man.
Okay.
So what it is I always love asking my guests this question.
What's that?
With you giving us all of your ideas, your beliefs, which I love the concepts that you dropped for us today. So I appreciate you. I got
Okay.
So with you giving us all this information, right? If it's one gem for, even if it's like in the realm of parenting, one gem, it's almost like one thing you could tell them about being successful or finding success, what would it be?
To the parent?
Yep, to the parent or the child or both. A concept they both can grasp and grow together with.
Love the process. Love that process of watching them grow from stumbling in diapers to running. Love that process, because you'll never see it again. That bruise and that boo-boo that they had that you kissed, you'll never kiss it again. So you better love it. Love it right now, wherever the stage that they are. See them for the growth. See the process of them becoming. That's literally the caterpillar to the cocoon to the butterfly that you're literally witnessing. Change your lenses.
Man.
See it in that manner, and now you're both growing together. They're gonna bump their head. You had to. You can't save them from all of them. When they, and that's what's so funny when we get older. Yes, it is very much a little bit more high of a risk. When them falling on the ground outside and scraping their knees, you patch it up and you send them back out. But then when they get older and adult, no, don't do that. They won't survive from it. Seriously?
Man.
All things work together.
Yeah.
For the good. There's really no way to lose in life. So if you endure the process, I mean, the only way to lose in life is that you accept defeat and you want to lose. You don't have to lose. Have to? Where's the gun to your head that says you're going to lose? You don't have to lose. That's a choice. You can win. You can turn it around. How many times did Ali win the championship? 3 times. And that's because he lost 3 times. Or maybe it was stripped from him on one of those, but I'm not accepting defeat. Mayweather is so great because he won't accept defeat. So you don't have to lose in life. Those are choices. You may take some lumps, which are really just lessons, but endure and love that process of watching your children, and you will grow as well. See the dreams and the hopes in their eyes and reattach to that for yourself.
Man. Listen, you done dropped some bars on us today.
Man, I appreciate it, man.
Listen, man, you did your thing. I appreciate you so much for coming and sit down with me, man. Thank you.
It was a blessing. You really don't know. This is such a blessing, man.
It's a blessing for the both of us. It's no problem.
I appreciate it.
Man, so y'all heard it here first. Love that process. You got to find love for the process in order to find your growth. Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah.
So once again, this has been another episode of Royal Minds with your guy, Mr. Royal Minds, Mr. Ricardo Antoine Brown, the power in you. Hey, another thing I wanted to ask you, how can the people connect with you?
Oh, wow. I'm on the social media platforms as Ricardo Brown. You can look up, you can go to my website, seeit.com. Check me out on my webpage. I'm also on Instagram, Facebook, and I got a TikTok. I got a little following. I'm trying to get with these young people out there. But yeah, you can just look up, Antoine Brown or The Power in You. And I should pop up. I'm even on Google, check me out.
Listen, man, go follow my man. Y'all see he done dropped all these Jews today. He got something that you can learn from. No matter what area in life you in, you can learn from this guy right here. I did. You see where I'm at.
I appreciate it.
So once again, thank you guys for watching. Come back, like, share, subscribe, and come kick it with us, man. This is what we do. Y'all have a nice day.